Leonard Peltier. Some of you may not have heard of him. And up at the social afterwards, there'll be some literature about him. He is a native political prisoner. He is our brother. He's been in prison for 39 years. He was framed up by the FBI, and he's been in prison all these years ever since. He is being held down in Florida now, thousands of miles away from his family. And every year we honor him, we think of him, and we have a special message from him. While the message is being read, you're going to do it. Some people are going to go through the crowd. Can you hold up the shawl, please? With that shawl, and we ask that you please be generous and make a donation to the Leonard Peltier Defense Committee to help them with their work. The big push right now is to demand clemency for Leonard Peltier so that he will get released. We want to see Leonard here next year. We don't want to keep getting these messages from here every year. We want to see him here with us, standing on this hill. So thank you. And Bert Waters, who's another wonderful elder who is here every year, is going to read this message. We ask that you listen carefully.
No, I'm 83 too.
Sorry? I'm 83. And Bert wants you to know that he's 83. We ask that you listen carefully. We ask that you be generous with the blanket dance for the Peltier Defense Committee. And we ask that if you don't know about Leonard, to get more information about him, to educate yourself and to educate others about him.
National Day of Mourning Statement from Leonard Peltier. 28 November 2013, Plymouth, Massachusetts. Greetings, my relatives, friends, and supporters. It is yet another year. It seems like 1,000 years ago. Only a year, though. In reality, from the last time I dictated one of these statements for the Day of Mourning. So again, I want to say, as last time, that I am honored that you want to hear from me again. Sometimes when I lay on my bunk and I am between sleeping and awake, for a small moment of time, I am free. And I am there with you. I know this sounds kind of melodramatic, and I am not trying to be so. But things affect you differently inside of here, and things affect you differently as you get older. But I want to say, with all my strength, some things don't change, at least not for me. When I think about all we have lost to this corporate world, when I think about the losses of clean water, rivers, and oceans, and when I think about the losses of clean air, when I think about the losses of freedom for the hard-working families that once had a father that could take care of his family with a single job, but now has to work 2 or 3 jobs, and the mother must work too, and the children that come home from school with their own key and have to wait the return of one of their parents. When I think of these losses, when I think of the wage slaves that are being created daily all over the world in the name of progress, when I think of these losses, I think we damn sure have a good reason to mourn. But I really believe that the word mourn should have a different meaning for us. Not something where we cry and throw our hands up in the air and say, why? Why? Why me? Why us? Why this? But something that we should say, no more. No more. Something we make a vow to. Renew our efforts, renew our minds, renew our directions to take back our water, take back our air, take back our forests, in our mountains and valleys. Restore this Mother Earth to the natural balance the Creator meant it to be. This is a long one. We need to talk to the churches, talk to the various religions. We need to get them to recognize that the strongest form of worship isn't singing songs and bowing your head. The strongest form of worship is to respect and restore balance, the beauty of nature and the earth that was given to us, that is part of us, that we are part of, and to be responsible for. This may sound like a rambling of some 69-year-old man in prison for 38 years, but I have had a lot of time to think about these things. And when my grandchildren come to visit me, it gives me a sense of urgency for all of us to start doing something now. In each one of you, if each one of you would take a vow to get 6 other people, along with yourself, to do at least one meaningful thing to restore this balance and get each one of us, of those people, to network, and get 6 more people, let it go out from there like the branches of a tree. Then together we can make a difference. We can make a difference starting today. This day of mourning would become the morning of a new day. I have quoted others before, and I do so again because I respect the wisdom of elders and people long past. Someone once said, and I don't remember who said it, all evil needs to triumph is for good people to do nothing. So true. If this is more than you care to do, or if you think you can't be involved with others for some reason, I respect that. But I would encourage you to at least plant one fruit-bearing tree that someone in the future, perhaps some child, could have something to eat. That maybe some other living creature might have a place of shelter and food to eat. There will always be changes throughout the earth and throughout mankind, some uncontrollable and some by design. I know we can make a change for the better. And if we put our hearts and minds together and let this day of mourning be a time of renewal, we can spread the concept that mankind must live in harmony and the Creator's handiwork and with one another. If this time I have spent here in prison could produce something of value, I pray that it would move you to become involved. Find the right things within government and support them. And find the wrong things in government and change them. This government, as it stands right now, is on the verge of losing what constitutional rights people have. This government is violating the Constitution over and over and over again. These violations started before you and I were conceived. As some of you may know, the Constitution is a copy of the Iroquois Six Nations Confederacy law. The Constitution originally was designed so that men would have maximum freedoms as long as they did not infringe on the natural rights of others or, in essence, harm someone else. The freedoms and respect that the law implies that we should have for one another in this nation should extend to all those outside of this realm, because what is right for one man should be right for all others. We should allow other people to be free from fear. I remember an old Jewish man I once met in a hardware store. I engaged in conversation with him. He had fought in World War II, and he said to me, and I always remember his words, "This isn't the nation I fought for. This nation has become a nation of people who are afraid of their government. And any time the people are afraid of their government, they are not free. And I have noticed that what people will do to someone else wrongfully, sooner or later, if the circumstances changed, they will do it also again. These violations of human rights must stop. I know the task may seem overwhelming, and I can't say that I have the answer for success at making a change, but I do know the answer for failure. That is, do nothing. So if my imprisonment serves nothing else but to be living proof of these violations, then so be it. But it is a reality. Right now it has been selective violation, but there are powers at hand that seek to inflict those violations upon everyone. This reminds me of a story that I heard once where a man said, "First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I am not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me." Almost over. I ask you to remember these things again. They are the truisms. They have happened, and they will happen again to you and to your children and your children's children if we do not take a stand. A famous warrior named Emiliano Zapata from the Mexican Revolution once said, "I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees." I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees. I could not go on and on. I could go on and on, but I suppose you get my meaning. I encourage you to be active, to stand your ground, and to help us recover the ground we have lost. God, I wish I could be there with you. I am going to close for now. Be thankful you have the time you have. Be thankful you have each other, and give each other a hug for me. I see you. I will see you soon. Your friend, Leonard Peltier. Give everyone a hug. Give everyone a hug. Give everyone a hug. In the name of Leonard Peltier. Thank you.